everybody. Did you just give me a little head wobble? Good.
I did. I'm a
Hello,
bobblehead.
everyone. Once again, welcome to the show. I'm Dave. The guy with the wobbly head is Scott.
The bobblehead today.
Bobblehead today is Scott. Today we're reviewing 1984's Buckaroo Banzai and, I thought it was and his adventures across the eighth dimension, but here it just says across the eighth dimension.
I
So
thought
the
Adventures was
Adventures of
in the
Buckaroo
title
Banzai.
too. Oh, there it is.
What?
There's where the Adventures is. I thought the Adventures, the title was named different. Yeah. Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension, or
Across the eighth dimension.
yeah.
I always say it wrong. For the last 30 years, I've been saying it wrong. Let me go in real quick. I'm going to read who was in the movie, and then I want to get your take on it. Maybe I'll just read like the real quick description in IMDb too, because I describe the movie way too much and too detailed about stupid stuff that nobody cares about.
Go ahead, give us the synopsis.
Peter Weller as Buckaroo Banzai. John Lithgow, who was just fantastic in this, as far as I'm concerned, as Dr. Emilio Lizardo. Ellen Barkin as Penny Pretty. Jeff Goldblum as New Jersey. Christopher Lloyd as John Big Booty.
Big Booty.
Big Booty. Lewis Smith as Perfect Tommy. Rosalind Cash as John M. Dahl. Robert Ito as Professor Hakeda. Pepe Serna as Reno, Nevada. Ronald Lacey as President Widmark. I didn't recognize President Widmark until I'm looking at the picture on IMDb. He's the Nazi from the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? No, not Temple of Doom, the other one. So many Indiana Jones movies. The first one.
Raiders
of the Lost Ark. Jesus Christ. Lost my mind. The guy with that grabs the...
Yeah. Yes, it burns. Oh, that was him.
I didn't even recognize that guy.
Well, here's the thing, dude. As you go down this list, every actor is that you've seen. I spend the whole time looking. It's like, who's this guy? Like the orderly in Dr. Lizardo is like, I know him. And then you look and see who he is. Like, holy crap, that was him. It's like, wow.
Matt Clark as the Secretary of Defense was a huge character actor of the day. Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
Yeah. William Taylor as General Catbird. Carl Lumley as John Parker. I didn't realize that was the same guy. John Parker was the Rastafarian alien.
Oh, okay.
And Carl Lumley played that part. Vincent Chevali was John O'Connor, which is the guy you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Dan Hedaya was John Gomez. Mary Claire Costello was Senator Cunningham, and Bill Henderson was Casper Lindley. All these names, folks, you know some of the names. You definitely know the faces. Will know their faces when you see them. Yeah. It was directed by W.D. Richter and written by Earl Mac Rausch. Rausch, just a few years ago, I'm not sure what year exactly, but finally wrote a sequel to this.
Oh.
With the Against the Crime League, the World Crime League or whatever. He wrote that book. Real quick, it's basically Buckaroo Banzai is a rock musician, an adventurer. He's a Renaissance man, neurosurgeon. He's just everything.
Super genius.
He's everything that any 14 or 15-year-old boy wants to be. He's everything. He's a superhero. He's a rock star.
Let's talk about that. This is a good point. This is a good spot to just bring this in. This is what you nailed it. You nailed it. Why couldn't I see this when I was watching it? This is what every 14-year-old boy thinks of when they think of a story. My hero, he's going to be a neurosurgeon, and he's going to be a rock star, and then he's going to solve quantum equations, and he's going to travel to other dimensions, and he's going to... And they wrote it. And
somebody sat down and went, that's what I'm going to write.
That's it. It makes much more sense now if I look at it through the lens of a 14-year-old.
And then he's got all his friends who are just as cool as him.
As cool.
But he's just a step cooler because he's Buckaroo Banzai.
But nobody looks at him like he's an equal but yes, he is that step there. So that wow, that was
Yeah, although all his friends, they all treat each other pretty much the same. They even treat Buckaroo pretty much the same. They all do have reverence for him. That's what was
yes, and
great.
it's
And
very
it's so,
obvious.
these actors are so good at it that the reverence towards the character of Buckaroo Banzai is like Clancy Brown, especially as Rawhide.
Hmm.
Clancy Brown is like a full head
He's a huge
taller.
guy. Yeah,
He's got shoulders like he's a guy, he's just a monster. But when he talks to Buckaroo Banzai, it's always in a sense
I
of
know. And
deference
look,
or
I
deference.
have
Like,
seen Clancy Brown in so many movies, but
yeah,
damn it, I can't get away from Highlander anytime I see
no,
Clancy Brown. And because he's such a great bad guy in that movie and he's just so
yes.
menacing. So anytime I see him not as the Kurgan or Krugen,
Right.
uh, I I like it takes me aback. It's like, wait, that's
Yeah.
Clancy Brown? Wait a minute.
Yeah. You
What?
look at him, you're like, Clancy Brown?
Yeah.
Immortal?
He has his head.
But I want to get your take on it. Like you said right before we started recording that you don't like the show as much as I do.
Right,
And I get
right.
it. I watched this show last night, and for me, every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more. It's
I
like
get it.
Going to America. The first time I saw Going to America, I chuckled. I was like, oh, that's okay. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's funnier. And now I can watch it and I'm hysterical through the whole thing. That was a movie that grew on me.
Hmm.
For me, Buckaroo Banzai is also a movie that just grows on me. Every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more, especially watching all the old actors that are there.
Yeah.
Some very earlier in their careers, and some this made their career,
Yeah.
and others, it's just part of their career, you know? But man, every one of them acted it. Every one of them
Yeah.
pushed it. So I'm
So
sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'll give you what I think of this movie. This is a fun movie. It's entertaining. It is. You'll hear Dave and I say this all the time. This is an '80s movie,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's more than just clothes and more than just music. But that is part of it because this is definitely made in the '80s. It's got that vibe, and I love the vibe. It's got a
Yeah.
cool vibe. But you nailed it a few minutes ago when you said it's like a 14-year-old wrote it and put it all together.
Mhm.
There's a lot of storylines going here. There is
Yeah.
too much in this
Yeah.
movie. Way too
Mhm.
much. And
There
that's
is.
why I think this is going to sound like contradictory, but that's also why this movie works.
Yeah.
If because at some point you're just going to have to unplug and watch this movie and
Yeah. You just have to
go with
accept
it.
that reality.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's
Mhm.
fine. It just didn't I didn't vibe with it like I do others.
Right.
It's fun. I love all the actors in it. It's really great seeing Jeff Goldblum. What a bizarre character. I'm still trying to figure out why he was dressed the way he was with the country music.
Well, that's what's funny when he's waiting for them, he's in the
Yes.
cowboy outfit, literally like 1930s cowboy movie outfit. And they look at him like, where are you from? New Jersey. You lost your spurs in New Jersey? And he just laughs at him. What does he mean?
And it was weird.
They never explain why he's dressed like a cowboy. They
Never. There's
never
stuff like that
explain it.
all through this. The storyline with the his ex's twin.
Yeah, that was
That was
weird.
bizarre. That was bizarre, but it was fun.
Yeah,
But it was also cool. Not only did he, Penny Pretty, Ellen Barkin,
yeah,
she was a genius. They
yeah.
all were geniuses.
They're all super
Everybody,
geniuses.
all of them. So that's this is, I had, at one point I said to myself, I'm watching a comic book.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's also in a comic book somewhere. I don't
Yes.
remember exactly where, but somebody talks about the comic book.
Yes, the comic book shows up and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And that was after I made the connection. And you saying like a 14-year-old boy wrote this is like, or, this is what their imagination would do.
Yeah.
So kudos to the writer for being able to tap into that and pull that out for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
While I don't love this movie, I didn't hate it.
Uh,
It's I can't dog it. I just didn't vibe with it. That's all.
right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I started watching, the reason I wanted to watch this in the first place is I just happened to across one interview with, I think it was Clancy Brown was my first interview on YouTube. And they were talking about his character Rawhide in this movie. And he just talks about it for a little bit. And at some point he says, they sent me the script or I was looking at it and I'm reading it. I'm like, this is just crazy. What is this? And then he talked to like the director and the writer, and he said they were just so stoked on this movie. Like, you have no idea how great this movie is going to be, and blah, blah, blah. And he said that excitement got infectious and he went and just did it. He's like, okay, I'll do it. I don't know who else is in it, but I'm in. He said it was like that through the whole damn movie shoot. Like everybody that was in this movie, sometimes you see Hollywood people and they're like, yeah, I enjoyed all my cast and crew and we were all friends and we're all hanging out. And you kind of get that vibe like, nah, I'm not believing you. But every
Yeah.
one of the people that I listed here that they talked to that I watched interviews on, I've watched interviews on almost all these people for this movie, all on YouTube. So go find these little snippets and these longer interviews also. I honestly believe these guys actually all liked each other and were having a really good time. There's Clancy Brown and somebody else said, like, if I could go back in time, if you had to say, hey, pick a time where you want to go back and do it. He said, I'd go back to the filming of this movie because it's my favorite movie shoot of all time. And I was like, wow, that's really something. That's really saying something. The guy, Lewis Smith, he was talking, and there's a scene between Penny Pretty and Buckaroo Banzai when he's getting her out of prison. And Perfect is just kind of banging his head on the bars because he's listening to their conversation, and they're both basically having a love affair at this moment between the bars, just talking to each other. And he's just banging his head. He's like, "Man, she's a murderer." And Buckaroo Banzai says, "She's not a murderer. Let her out." And Buckaroo Banzai has got so much
I
pull
know,
with
right?
all of the world leaders and anybody on the planet.
He can do anything.
Doesn't have to wait for a pardon. He doesn't wait for judge's orders. If Buckaroo Banzai walks up to you and says, let that murderer out of jail or that accused
They're going to
murderer
do it.
out of jail, you just do it. You just like because it's Buckaroo Banzai, which is
He's,
what I loved about his character. And he
yeah.
never abused the power. He
No.
never abused anything that he had. But real quick, I want to say this, and then you can say what you want to say because
Yeah, go ahead.
the character of Lewis Smith, the guy who played Perfect Tommy, they shot the scene like several times.
Mm.
And finally the director walks over to him and says, just I want you to say that she's a murderer and stuff like that. He says, yeah, but that's not in the script. They're having their little love affair here. I'm not supposed to be involved. Interrupt him and tell him that she's a murderer. So that's where that line comes from.
Oh, wow.
And
So Peter Weller and Ellen Barkin didn't expect that coming.
didn't know it was coming. So Peter Weller, to get back at Tommy, tells him to give her his coat. And the guy had like taken hours to get his jacket, his outfit just
so
right.
that was legit.
He was like, this is perfect. This is what my perfect character would perfectly dress like. And everything was perfect on. And that guy looks fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So that's why he looks at him and says, give her your coat.
Wow.
And he's like, well, why give her my coat? Because you're perfect. Okay. And he takes off his coat and hands it. That is like one of those little moments that
That's
when
cool.
you know this, when you know it, you're like, that makes that moment all so much better.
Well,
so I was just dying to see all these scenes that I just heard all these guys talk about that were not scripted. Like there's a lot of this that wasn't, it's in the movie, it's scripted in the movie, but they changed it around a little bit to make it funnier or quirkier, like more odd than it was written originally. And that's what the director and everybody was going for.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that moment is a good moment in the movie because it's like, wow, there looked like some real freaking tension right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it comes from.
Wow, that's cool.
The director told them to go over and nobody knew, neither one of them knew it was coming. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah. So this particular movie, Buckaroo Banzai, of course, is ends up crossing over into the eighth dimension, and there's some aliens. So this is kind of timely because the whole discussion of disclosure and everything else
Yep.
right now,
Yep.
and due to the stuff that we know about physics now,
Yeah.
not anything can change at any moment. As people we discover stuff, it's more than likely that aliens travel dimensionally, not through
Mhm.
actual space. So this movie hitting it on this exact same thing in the
Right.
80s. So I thought, oh, this is cool. All
Mhm.
the aliens are named John something.
That's funny. John Big Booty. That's Big
John Big
Booty.
Booty.
Big
Christopher
Booty.
Lloyd, God bless him.
Man, he was good in that. He was really
Everybody
good.
was good at John Lithgow. Oh my God, what a crazy man.
For the problems that I'm going to see coming up with the Harry Potter movie, he was the perfect pick for Dumbledore.
Oh, is that who's playing Dumbledore?
He's playing Dumbledore. I don't care for a couple of the other choices that they got out
Right.
there. I probably won't bother watching this series, but he was a good pick for Dumbledore.
He's
Dumbledore.
a phenomenal actor. He's got a
Yeah.
hell of a range, hell of a range.
And
So,
I'm really happy that he's pissing off a lot of Brits right now
yeah.
just by being Dumbledore. I'm like, you guys were Superman.
He was the right actor. He was the right actor for it. Yeah, but you're
But
right. So
yeah, I told you I want to see some Americans in some of these British shows that everybody's so protective of.
it is not
Now the
happening.
next thing we got to hit as an American, we need to take the doctor and make him an American doctor. That'll piss them all off.
You know what? Yeah. That's something that can just happen as a different series, like kind of happened with Legends of Tomorrow. I always felt that was American Doctor
Yeah.
Who.
Oh
And
yeah,
it
that's pretty
was,
much what that guy was. And I laughed so hard because that poor actor, when he left, he's like, I don't want to be Doctor Who anymore. I want to. First thing he did was basically a Doctor Who spinoff. But the
yeah,
character in the comics was a actual character. But it's just
yeah.
funny that that's the
I know
character.
he ends up going from Doctor Who to Doctor Who American style.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. So yeah, the early seasons of Legends of Tomorrow are brilliant, but that's a whole nother
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah. Um. Well, oh, here's the thing I was telling you about earlier, a couple days ago. In the movie, there was a scene in the movie where Reno, Pepe Serna, and New Jersey, Jeff Goldblum, go through a room with a watermelon in a machine, really out of place for the scene. Reno says, I'll explain it later. In the Blu-ray audio commentary, filmmakers explained that they had a confrontational relationship with one of the producers when they stopped receiving notes from the production. They decided to put the watermelon in a scene with no mention about it anywhere in the script. When they received no question about it, they deduced that no one was screening the dailies anymore, and they could keep making the film the way they wanted to as long as they remained within the budget. But the thing with Jeff Goldblum is, in one of the interviews, Jeff Goldblum, if he walks onto a set, I don't know if he's got like photographic
All
memory or
right.
anything, but when he will do an initial walkthrough or like go to his props or whatever, he knows where everything's at. So his initial walkthrough, that watermelon wasn't there.
Oh shit.
The next time he comes through, they have a watermelon there, and Jeff Goldblum, sure as shit, stops and looks over and goes, "What's with the watermelon?" And that's when Reno looks over and goes, "I'll explain later."
Oh,
Because the
it's
guy
brilliant.
wasn't expecting Jeff Goldblum to say anything about the watermelon.
But the beauty is that they're all good improv actors.
Yeah,
They never missed a freaking
yeah.
beat.
And they just kept going. Like Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum just followed the guy. Like after he realized nobody was going to answer his question, he's just doing it to get Jeff Goldblum. Like, okay.
That
But
is the character. That is the character. Again, I just go back to the refusal to explain his cowboy outfit. Here's another neurosurgeon who we see
exactly,
early on.
exactly.
And this goes to talk about the reverence that you see, and they do such a good job. Not want to say necessarily reverence, but you see the difference in levels. You see Buckaroo is above everybody else, and every interaction you see that,
Right.
no matter how subtle, and none of it is because he's a jerk. It's just that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know instantly who to go to,
Who
and a
the
lot
boss
of it.
is.
Yes, and a lot of it is because of the supporting cast.
Mhm.
Those characters all defer to him, everything,
Yeah.
and you see everything they do goes to Buckaroo, and it just sets it up, and it does it so nicely. I love the beginning when they're getting ready to do the test to go through the mountain. Of course, he's late because he's doing
Yeah,
brain surgery.
he's doing brain surgery.
But he shows up and this is what's wild. Peter Weller is so damn calm as this
Yeah,
character who should be freaking the fuck out.
yeah.
Pardon the language.
Right, right. No,
So
fair, fair.
he should be freaking out at this point, and he's not. And it shows just how cool and how smart and how in charge Buckaroo
And
Banzai
how
is.
compartmentalized his life is. Like,
True.
here I'm the hero. Here I'm an assistant to this other neurosurgeon. Here here I'm going to be a scientist. Here, and then he can also mix them all together.
Yeah.
What I did like is when he is in trouble and he is captured by the aliens and they're looking for him. If I'm not mistaken, everybody defers to Rawhide.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It seemed to, yeah.
without anybody saying it, everybody knew who was next in charge. Oh shit, Buckaroo's in trouble. We can't contact him. Rawhide, what do we do? And Clancy Brown is the perfect guy because
Yeah.
he's proven up to that point that his character is almost all just a little tiny bit less smart than Buckaroo, and that just is so good. That part is really well written. You're like, holy cow! And when you really dissect it, that's what I really like.
Yeah.
The, spoiler? Are we doing spoilers?
You can spoil. You can spoil. It's an old
We
movie.
spoil everything, folks. Rawhide
Sometimes.
dies in this movie. And it literally, I was rewatching that scene and I actually started welling up. I'm like, oh man, Clancy Brown. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but I'm like, oh man. And then you see all the guys, all these tough scientists, superhero guys that have probably saved the world and seen thousands of people die, all starting to well up because Rawhide's dying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And in one of the interviews, Clancy Brown's talking about the final scene when they're walking down the ramp and they're in the whatever the hell power station, whatever it is that they're in outside. He's like, he was called back. That happened 6 months later or something. Like they filmed that like months later.
And nothing.
And he's like,
sorry,
he tells the guy, he's like, I'm dead. My character's dead. Why are you? No, you got to come in. You got to, we'll get you in costume. Well, come on. And he's like, oh crap, the sequel is going to happen. He's thinking the sequel is going to happen, and somehow these crazy bastards are going to bring my character back to life. I'm there, and he showed up. He's like, he goes, but the call never came for the sequel. He goes, I was really depressed because I really like these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious they had fun, but this, I would have to say, the scene that sticks with me throughout this movie is the credits scene, the one that you said they called back and did.
Yeah.
Nothing screams 80s more than this credit reel here of them, the music. It's beautiful. I loved every freaking second of the credits. I wanted to watch the credits again. I don't know why, but it was 80s. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Once again, on YouTube, there is just that scene. People have put that scene out. Just because it's like you said, it's like one of the best scenes in the movie.
It's I don't know what it is, man. It's like
walking, and it starts out with Buckaroo, looking like Buckaroo Banzai, and then somebody else comes over, and then somebody else comes over, and then somebody else is, and they are like the whole group is just walking. The little kid, the little boy in that is freaking just adorable because they have to get their regulars. They're looking for Buckaroo. They're trying to find out where he's is. The little kid gets on the radio and starts talking, hey, Rawhide or Reno, whoever he's talking to, it's me, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, we need you here and here. And the kid shows up with his dad, and they're loaded to bear, man. That kid's got
I love that.
freaking M16.
I mean,
and he's only about 10.
And you nailed it. You said they're regulars. It makes me instantly, I'm thinking of Sherlock Holmes or regulars. You got you have the urchins, you have your group.
That's what this was.
Yeah, you have your group of fans who go out of their way to help Buckaroo Banzai. They're like an auxiliary force.
And the dad was great in that.
God, it was great.
That actor, they don't have his name in here. I don't know why. But that kid's dad was great because he's just with the kid. Like, let's go, son. Like, we're going to go jump into danger. Come on, son.
Buckaroo's in trouble. Yeah.
We're fighting aliens. Come on, son. What a great dad.
Well, think about it. If we had somebody like Superman or Batman or one of these heroes, and we knew they were in trouble, we'd want to help.
Yeah, you'd want to go help, and that's what's funny. The kid goes to help.
Yeah,
I almost forgot about that kid, but he's
I
I
did
would
too,
say
man.
he's almost integral to the character of all the superheroes.
Well,
To
he's an
have
early
that kid,
version of them.
huh?
He's an early version of them.
Yeah, yeah, because
So he's
that
it's
kid
the
wasn't fooled
logical.
by the Secretary of State one bit.
No, it's the logical conclusion that they would
Yeah,
grow up and be like Buckaroo
yeah,
Banzai
that
and his
he's going to
team.
be the next Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. I never thought about that, but you're right. Yeah,
it's
I like it. So
yeah,
for me, I'm going to wrap it up on my part.
absolutely.
Uh, I like this movie. Like I said, the more I watch it, the more I like it. The more little things I see that I like that I didn't notice before. So I say watch it. If you like weird, quirky movies that almost make no sense, and it's really hard to follow. This is a hard movie to follow to make sense out of, at least for me. They do
That's
explain the alien invasion back in the 30s on the radio with
I
Orson Welles.
love that. War of the Worlds was real.
I had
That was
forgotten
great.
about that
I did too.
until
You just said that.
they started talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that scene." But that's what all this is about initially. But I like it. I enjoy it. I like quirky movies that I can
Mhm.
still mostly follow, and they make me think about them later. And I've
That's
been
the
thinking
thing.
about this movie for the last 2 or 3 days since I
There you
watched
go.
it. Like,
Yeah.
what about this scene? What about that scene? So I'll probably I'll buy this on Blu-ray just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's
Get the extras and
Buckaroo
stuff. Yeah.
Banzai.
It's yeah, I don't hate the movie. I don't
Yeah.
love the movie. It is an 80s movie. It's fun. It's
All right.
entertaining. Great cast. Story is hard to follow. It's all over the damn place because,
Mhm.
as I said earlier, there's too much there. But if you take that out, you don't have Buckaroo Banzai. That's the thing. This
Yeah.
formula that they've thrown at it makes this movie.
Mhm.
This is a cultish movie. What I mean is,
Yeah.
it's got a following,
Yeah, it
obviously,
does.
because there's so much there, and it's just one of those things that the people who love it, like yourself, it has
Mhm.
some hooks and it grabs you for whatever reason, and
Yeah.
you love it. It's um I say give it a watch because you may love it
Yeah.
and you may not.
Well, another
So,
reason that I do like this movie so much is I don't know why she did it, but my older sister took me to go see this movie.
oh yeah,
Um, don't remember why. There must have been something, must have been my birthday or something. I don't know. But I remember her going, "Hey, I heard you talking about this movie. It's showing at the theater. You want to go?" And it was just me and her. I
oh
remember her
cool.
buying me popcorn and a soda, and we just sat next to each other. And she's looking at me, and she's like, "Are you enjoying this?" I'm like, "This is great, man." I was probably about, I don't know how the hell old I was when back in 84, however the hell old I was, 16, 17, whatever. Um, and I was just, this is great. Are you kidding me? This is what I want to do. I want to be Buckaroo Banzai. You know?
Oh, I get it. As a kid,
Yeah.
I saw this movie in the 80s and I probably
Mhm.
really loved it as
Yeah.
because I was 14 when it came out. So it's interesting,
Right.
a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I probably watched it. I'd seen it before. I
Yeah.
just never remembered it. It's
Right.
like, wow. So I'd only seen it probably once, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun one,
Yeah.
folks. So
I like it.
definitely, if you want to take a trip down 80s memory lane, go check out Buckaroo Bonds Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension with the what are they called? Lectroids? Black
The
Lectroids.
electroids were the bad
Yeah.
alien. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was neat. It was fun. So folks, if you like the show, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and catch us next week.